The bold and the beautiful spoilers, Sheila's doomed dinner party plan. Will Hope and Deke's family night end in disaster? The latest bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest that Sheila Sharp may be heading straight toward yet another emotional and potentially explosive misstep, this time in the form of a family dinner party that could turn from a well-intentioned olive branch into an absolute disaster. Sheila is determined to prove that she's changed, to show Deacon's children that she deserves a place in their lives. But in true Sheila fashion, her plan may end up backfiring in the worst way possible. Right now, Sheila is desperate for acceptance. She's been trying to inch her way closer to Deacon's family, particularly his son Deke, even though he makes it pretty clear that he is uncomfortable around her. But if there's one thing fans know about Sheila, it's that she doesn't take hints. Instead of backing off, she keeps pushing forward, convinced that if she just spends enough time around Deke and Hope, they will eventually warm up to her and see that she's sincere. Of course, whether that's true is another story entirely. Sheila had already been hoping for a symbolic family moment when Hope and Liam's wedding took place, imagining she might show up at the ceremony and present herself as part of Deacon's world. Instead, she never even received an invitation, and that rejection cut deep. Sheila felt hurt, angry, and shut out, but rather than lash out, at least for now, she seems to have decided to redirect her disappointment into a new plan. And that's where the dinner party idea comes in. According to B&B spoilers, Sheila may try to take matters into her own hands by organizing a private family gathering at Illinois Giardino, something small, intimate, and controlled, at least in theory. In Sheila's mind, this isn't just a meal. It's a chance to reshape her image. A chance to show Hope and Deke that she can be civilized, calm, and even motherly. She likely believes that if she can just get them all seated together at the same table, everything else will eventually fall into place. But as fans know, any situation involving Sheila rarely stays calm for long. She may pitch the idea to Deacon as a heartfelt effort, a gesture meant to bridge the emotional gap between herself and his kids. Deacon, who has always struggled between loyalty, guilt, and compassion, might agree to give her that chance, especially since he still wants harmony in his fractured family. Deke, meanwhile, spends enough time at the restaurant that he may reluctantly agree to attend, not because he trusts Sheila, but because he respects his father enough to tolerate the situation. Hope, however, is the wild card in all of this. Her hesitation to include Sheila at the wedding wasn't personal bitterness, it was about protecting Beth, ensuring her daughter felt safe and secure. But a private dinner. No children. Controlled environment. Neutral ground. Hope might convince herself that attending one dinner doesn't mean she's accepting Sheila, it simply means she's keeping the peace for Deacon's sake. But that's where things could turn. Because even when Sheila means well, she often pushes too hard. She says the wrong thing, crosses emotional boundaries, or tries to force relationships that simply aren't ready to exist. And the moment Sheila starts talking about family, commitment, or acceptance, Hope and Deke may feel the pressure build instantly. To make matters even more complicated, Sheila might even suggest inviting Taylor Hayes, turning the dinner from an awkward family meetup into a pseudo-therapy session. Sheila may think this makes her look responsible and dedicated to growth, but instead, it could make everyone in the room feel trapped and emotionally cornered. And when people feel cornered around Sheila, things never end well. What starts as polite small talk could quickly shift into tension. A subtle remark about being left out of the wedding. A comment about wanting to be part of Beth's life someday. Or even a plea for forgiveness that feels less like sincerity and more like emotional manipulation. Hope has come a long way in setting boundaries, and Sheila pushing those boundaries could immediately set off alarm bells. Deke, meanwhile, has already made it clear that Sheila makes him uneasy. One insensitive comment, one guilt-tinged speech, and the mood could shift instantly. And if one of them snaps, that dinner could spiral into exactly the kind of emotional meltdown Sheila was desperately trying to avoid. Instead of proving that she's changed, she could end up confirming every fear they already have about her. And that doesn't just impact Sheila, it impacts Deacon too. If Sheila's attempt at family bonding ends in emotional chaos, Deacon may suddenly find himself caught in the middle again, torn between loyalty to Sheila and the pain and frustration of his children. The more damage Sheila does, the harder it becomes for him to defend her, and the more likely it becomes that he may seek comfort elsewhere. And yes, that could easily bring Taylor back into the picture. With emotions high, regret setting in, and Sheila causing yet another rift. Deacon may find himself leaning on Taylor again for support. Which means Sheila wouldn't just lose the progress she thought she was making, she could lose Deacon's stability and affection right along with it. At the end of the day, Sheila's greatest flaw remains the same. She wants acceptance so badly that she tries to force it, and in doing so, she often destroys the very relationships she's trying to build. So the real question now is, will this dinner party finally be Sheila's chance to prove she's changed? Or will it become yet another disaster that pushes Hope, Deke, and maybe even Deacon, further away than ever before? One thing is certain, Sheila is playing a dangerous emotional game, and on Bold and the Beautiful, even the smallest family gathering can turn into a full-blown explosion. Stay tuned, because Sheila's kind gesture may end up costing her far more than she ever expected.